Welcome to the conclusion lesson of the Big 6 research model. I am Ms. Frodine, your librarian. Today, we will delve further into the Big 6 research model and how you can utilize it when it is time to begin your research. The purpose of this lesson is for you to gain a deeper understanding of the Big 6 by looking at each step in isolation and then discussing each step. By the end, you should have the information you need to successfully implement the Big 6 into your project. There's no need to be like this guy.
Hi, Mrs. Frame. Can I use one of the computers?
Sure. What are you doing?
Research.
What are you researching?
I don't know.
You don't know what you are researching.
No.
Then what do you plan on doing in the computer lab?
Waste time, print stuff, and surf the internet. But not necessarily in that order.
What would you print?
Pictures and lots of articles.
So, you don't know what you are researching, but you want to waste paper and ink by printing pictures and articles you don't need?
Yes. May I go now? I have a lot of work to do.
But you don't know what you are researching nor what you need to look for.
Yes, but I need a computer. I must go right now.
Don't you think it would be wise if you knew what you needed to do?
Why does it matter? I just need a computer.
I can't let you use a computer if you don't know what you are doing.
Why?
Because.
But why?
Because.
But I need to print stuff.
Have you ever heard of the Big 6?
No. Is it a team?
No. It will help you learn how to research effectively and create a good paper or project.
Is it on the computer?
Enough with the computer.
But I like computers.
You don't say. I couldn't tell. But yes, once you know what the Big 6 is and how to use it, then you could use a computer for research.
Really? Okay, I am listening.
The handout you have received will go along with this presentation. In the handout, you will see all of the Big 6 steps with a graphic under each that gives a little more information about each step. You will see each step and then a question. Keep these questions in mind when you get ready to do your project. Do not just rely on the handout to get you through the steps, however. It is merely a resource to help guide you that you can refer back to. Feel free to jot any notes down along the way. The first step of the Big 6 is called task definition, because that's exactly what you do. Define the task you want to research. This part seems easy. We like to write about what we gravitate towards. I would love to write about cats, cookies, zambonis, and garden gnomes. That's a lot of ideas, so I would need to think about which topic might have the most information on it, so I know I will have a strong paper or project. So even though I would be delighted to write about garden gnomes riding a zamboni with their pet cat eating cookies, I need to narrow it down to just one idea, since there most likely isn't much information on that topic. In doing so, I can maintain a clean, neat project. The next step is called information seeking strategies. Now that you've figured out what you want to research, where will your information come from? Brainstorm for potential sources. Which sources might have the best information? Are there lots of books, journals, papers available here in the library? Will you need access to the internet? What websites have the best information? No need to get overwhelmed though. You don't have to use everything. Just choose the sources you think will work best. After choosing which sources your information will come from, it's time to just get down to the nitty-gritty. The next two steps are the biggest parts of the Big 6. Step 3 is location and access. In this step, you will need to locate your sources. This is the time to check out any hard copy materials the library has that you need. Bookmark and write down any websites or online sources that you have found relevant to your topic. Once you've found your sources, it's time to access the information within. You will quickly find out if the source you have chosen is a good one to use. Now that you have located and selected your information and have access to the material, You can begin to pick and choose which key pieces will work best for your project. This is step 4, use of information. Read, watch, or listen to your chosen information. Please make sure your information comes from a credible source. If you need help determining if a source is credible, please ask myself or your teacher. It is easy to get distracted with so many facts, so keep your topic in mind. If you have chosen a broad topic, such as cookies, it would be easy to get lost in all of the information about cookies. Try zoning in on what part of the topic interests you the most, such as the history of cookies. Once you've narrowed down your topic, it becomes much easier to pull out your desired information. As you gather your information, begin thinking about where you could use it in your project and how it will add to it. Lastly, make sure you properly cite your sources. This means giving the author of your source credit for their work. It is so important for you to include this step. It also helps you remember who wrote what when you're using the source in your project. The hard work is practically done at this point. You have chosen your topic, figured out where to find your information, located and accessed that information, and have picked out key facts. It's time for step 5, synthesis. This is the time to take all the information you've decided to use and put it together. First, organize your information. Group like facts together. This will help your project flow smoothly. Next, create an outline. An outline serves as a written map of how you want your paper to flow. By doing this, you will see the order in which you want to discuss the topics within your project. Make sure the order makes sense. If you're discussing the history of cookies, you wouldn't start by talking about the future of cookies. After you have created an outline, begin your rough draft. This is the time where you take all that information you've gathered and make it work for you. Check your rough draft and make any necessary changes. Sometimes it's a good idea to have someone else look at your work to get a different viewpoint. Lastly, create your final piece. Again, make sure to cite your sources. Finally, the last step of the Big 6, evaluation. This step is pretty self-explanatory. Here you will evaluate your work. It is always a good idea to reflect back and judge how you worked through the Big 6 process. Is your final piece your best work? Are you proud of the final product? If others were to see it, would they be able to tell what you are talking about? Did you make the best use of your time? Is there anything you would change about your approach or work ethic that you can implement next time? If you answered mostly no, then you need to identify what went wrong and how it can be fixed in the future. If you answered yes, congratulations, you are ready to hand in your work. This concludes our Big 6 lesson. Let's review real quick. The Big 6 research model is a useful tool to help you create well-informed, well-organized papers and projects. By following each step, you can break up a large, overwhelming task into smaller, more manageable chunks. Each of the 6 steps are designed to help you get the most out of your research. The Big 6 is a lifelong tool for you to keep throughout your lifetime. You never know when you'll need it.